standing before a mountain, a huge, solid piece of rock, baked by the Indian sun for millions of years. Now imagine someone deciding not to build a temple on top of it, but to carve a temple out of it. It sounds quite mad, doesn't it? But that is precisely what you find at the Kailash Temple in Ellora. It is simply one of the most astonishing things I have ever seen. This is not a building made of bricks and mortar. It is a single, colossal sculpture. It's a work of art so grand, so utterly breathtaking, that it feels like it must have been made by giants or gods, not by human hands. It stands proudly, a testament to what people can achieve when they are fired up with incredible passion and belief. The first time you lay eyes on it, the sheer scale is what gets you. It's simply enormous. The temple complex is larger than the Parthenon in Athens, covering a vast area. You walk through a grand entrance, and suddenly, the world opens up into a courtyard filled with this magnificent structure. It's a bit like stepping into another world, a secret place hidden within the earth itself. The temple rises from the ground, connected to the surrounding rock on one side, a giant monolith carved with impossible detail. One feels so very small standing next to it, humbled by its ancient presence and the sheer audacity of its creation. It is a place that makes your heart beat just a little bit faster. What truly boggles the mind is how they did it. The sculptors started at the very top of the cliff and carved their way down. Think about that for a moment. There was no room for error, no chance to go back and fix a mistake. Every single chip of the hammer had to be perfect. They were not building up, they were taking away, revealing the temple that was hiding inside the rock. It's an idea so brilliant and so daring that it almost defies belief. They scooped out the rock to create the courtyard, and then carved the central temple, the surrounding shrines, the bridges, and the galleries, all from that one original piece of the hill. This method is called monolithic architecture, and the Kailash Temple is the largest example of it anywhere on our planet. It is not just a building, it is a piece of the earth itself, reshaped by human devotion. Standing there, you can almost hear the echoes of the chisels, the shouts of the workers, and the prayers that must have filled the air for over 100 years. It is a place where geology, art, and faith come together in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. It is more than a temple. It is a declaration of faith carved into the very soul of India. A wonder that has stood for centuries and will, one hopes, stand for many more to come. So, who was the visionary behind such a stupendous project? The story goes back to the 8th century, to a king named Krishna I from the Rashtrakuta dynasty. He was a powerful ruler, and he wanted to create something truly magnificent to honor the god Shiva. Lord Shiva is said to reside on Mount Kailash in the Himalayas, a sacred and unreachable peak. So the king decided that if he could not take his people to the mountain, he would bring the mountain to his people. He commissioned this temple to be a replica of Shiva's divine home, a man-made Kailash right here in the heart of India. It was a dream of epic proportions, a project that would take generations to complete. It is said that the work began around the year 760. Can you imagine the scene? Thousands of sculptors and laborers descending upon this giant rock face. They didn't have the machinery we have today, of course. Everything was done by hand, with simple tools, hammers, chisels, and picks. Historians estimate that over 400,000 tons of rock were scooped out to create the temple. That is an unbelievable amount of stone to move without the help of modern technology. The dedication required is simply mind-boggling. It wasn't just a construction project. It was an act of supreme devotion that spanned more than a century and several lifetimes. One of the most charming legends about the temple tells of the architect. After years of carving downwards, there was a moment of panic. How could they be sure the temple below would be perfectly formed? The king grew anxious, but the chief architect simply smiled. He had planned every detail so meticulously in his mind that he knew exactly where every column, every doorway, and every sculpture would be. This incredible foresight is what makes the temple so perfect. It wasn't built, it was revealed. The sculptors believed they were simply freeing a divine form that was already sleeping within the stone, waiting to be awakened. What makes Kailash so very special is that it is the only temple in the world that was carved this way, from the top down and from a single piece of rock. It's a feat of engineering and artistry that has never been repeated on this scale. They had to think in reverse, imagining the final structure and then removing everything that wasn't part of it. This reverse engineering on such a monumental scale is what makes it a true wonder of the ancient world. It is a symbol of human ingenuity at its most brilliant, a king's glorious dream brought to life by the sweat and skill of countless unknown artists. Walking through the Kailash Temple is like stepping into a grand open-air art gallery. Every single surface, from the towering walls to the smallest pillars, is covered in the most exquisite carvings and sculptures. It is a feast for the eyes. The stories of Hindu mythology come alive right before you. You can see panels depicting scenes from the great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. There are gods and goddesses, demons and heroes, all frozen in stone, their expressions so vivid you feel you could almost have a chat with them. The detail is just staggering. You can see the delicate jewelry on a goddess, or the ripple of a muscle on a warrior. One of the most famous and powerful sculptures shows the demon king Ravana shaking Mount Kailash. He is trapped beneath the mountain, trying to lift it with all his might. You can see the strain on his face and the power in his many arms. And above him, a calm Lord Shiva simply presses his toe down, effortlessly pinning the mountain and the mighty demon beneath it. The goddess Parvati, next to him, clings to his arm, a little startled. It's a moment of high drama, a story of arrogance and divine power, captured with such incredible energy in stone. It feels so dynamic, so full of movement, that you half expect the figures to spring to life. It's not just the grand scenes that are so captivating. Everywhere you look, there are delightful details. Lines of magnificent elephants form the base of the temple, appearing to carry the entire structure on their backs, a symbol of strength and stability. There are beautiful celestial nymphs, mischievous spirits, and serene sages. The sculptors had a wonderful sense of life and movement. Nothing is static. Everything is flowing and full of energy. As the sun moves across the sky, the light and shadows play on the carvings, making them appear different from one hour to the next. It's a living, breathing work of art. The feeling of being there is simply magical. You find yourself wandering through corridors and up staircases, discovering hidden courtyards and small shrines. Each corner you turn reveals something new and wonderful. You can spend hours, even days, just exploring, and still find details you missed before. The sheer volume of artistry is overwhelming in the best possible way. It's a place that fills you with a sense of wonder and a deep appreciation for the artists who poured their souls into this rock. It is beauty on a scale that is hard to comprehend, a stone symphony that has been playing for over 1,000 years. The Kailash Temple is not just an ancient monument or an archaeological site. It is a place of deep and living faith. For centuries, it has been a major pilgrimage destination, drawing devotees from all over India and, indeed, the world. When you visit, you are not just a tourist looking at old stones. You are sharing the space with people for whom this temple is profoundly sacred. You see families dressed in their finest clothes, their faces filled with reverence and joy. You hear the gentle murmur of prayers and the ringing of small bells. There is a powerful spiritual energy that fills the air, an atmosphere of peace and devotion. People come here to worship Lord Shiva, the great ascetic, the destroyer of evil, and the Lord of the universe. They bring offerings of flowers, coconuts, and incense, laying them at the foot of the shrines. Many will walk around the main temple in a clockwise direction, a ritual known as pradakshina, as a sign of respect. You can see them touching the cold stone of the walls, closing their eyes in prayer, seeking blessings and solace. It is incredibly moving to witness this unbroken chain of faith, to know that people have been coming to this very spot, doing these very things for more than 1,200 years. The devotion is palpable. It's in the way a woman lights a small oil lamp, her hands cupped around the flame. It's in the way an old man bows his head, his face etched with a lifetime of faith. For these pilgrims, the temple is not just a replica of Mount Kailash. It is Mount Kailash. It is the earthly abode of their god. Visiting the temple is a journey that cleanses the soul and brings one closer to the divine. The stories carved on the walls are not just art to them. They are sacred texts, reminders of the eternal truths of their religion. It is a place where mythology and daily life intertwine beautifully. This is why the Kailash Temple is so important and absolutely worth visiting. It is more than just a marvel of architecture. It is a testament to the enduring power of human faith. It shows us that with enough belief and determination, we can achieve the seemingly impossible. It's a place that inspires awe, sparks the imagination, and touches the heart. To stand within its carved walls is to feel a connection to the past and to witness the vibrant pulse of faith in the present. It is a truly unique and unforgettable experience.